I mean, last session was kind of a fight and
A
a
battle,
reunion.
anyways. Yeah.
It was a fight and fight.
Yeah, both sides fought their demons, literally, not devils, demons, and then you guys reunited back in the original room that you had investigated, the first door on the right and the second story side. You guys ended up going into Phoebe's bag. I think the best way to describe it would be like Fantastic Beasts, where he's got the whole bag with his creatures and everything inside of it. So we left off in there.
I'm sorry, you say bag?
Bag. B-A-G, yes.
What AG?
Make
Sorry.
America great again. A-G. Phoebe, what was the name of the character that you introduced us to last time?
I really liked Crumb.
Crumb.
I like Crumb a lot.
So, as soon as you guys get back in, you hear Crumb, who's just been gnawing on like a block of moldy cheese this entire
What's his
time.
name?
Crumb. He says, Phoebe, we need more cheese. Second, you get some messages from Rundar, and he points at some notes that he literally just started writing and jotting down.
Oh my god. D'accord. Okay. I will get you cheese as soon as we are back where we can get more cheese. Where did you find that cheese in the first place is my first question.
No, it was sitting,
Was
it
it
was
like-
under the pillow. It's pillow cheese.
That was for the dirt man. That was next to the dirt? Under the pillow next to the dirt?
Well, the bed's next to the dirt.
Oh, okay.
A little dirt under your pillow for the anyway. Okay.
Do you want a piece of it? Is that what you're concerned about?
Messages from what?
Do you want a piece of the cheese? Is that what you're concerned about?
No, you need to eat your cheese, and then I will
do.
get you more of the cheese. I just didn't know if we had like a cheese room that I haven't found yet, like a
You've got a cheese room?
Do we have a cheese room?
I guess we do. I'm eating cheese in this room.
I think that is perfect.
Cheese room it is.
Okay. So and then you have notes from Rundar, correct?
Yeah, I got notes. Wrote them down right on over there. And he points at the table.
Okay. Did you get these telepathically, or did he?
No, right in this old noggin here. I was eating some cheese, and then he started talking to me.
Parfait.
He gave you this
Parfait.
bag, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be sure to verify. Crumb, you are perfect. You are stellar. I appreciate you. I will pay you in as much cheese as you'd like. Thank you. And then I'm gonna take the notes and read them
And by
out
the way-
loud, so
by the way,
everyone
you
knows
are-
what the fuck they say.
Just to remind you guys, you're looking at this kind of very small, very fat, really ugly, hairy, big nose, big ears, kind of like a surfer cut, shaggy hair going kind of like right across the eyes type creature, with a couple of little horns coming out the side of his head, not like inward, but just kind of like irregular. And he says, you read the notes, and they say, when you get the energy source, go back to where you came from to leave. Might have to spend the night. I'll get you at first dawn.
Okie dokie. Sounds good. So I guess. And that was it. There was nothing else. No helpful pro tips.
Rundar said a whole lot, but it was the cheese or it was the pencil, and I chose the cheese. I think he said this is
That
your
is
only
okay.
way out, like dawn or
D'accord.
good luck.
D'accord. That is okay. Good job, Crummykins. Mommy appreciates you. So anyway,
He kind of like claps to himself, gets himself claps.
like, anyway, I love it. Good job, buddy. So that being said, we have something that looks like a plan and how to get the energy source, or what have you guys found? What has your half found? Because we've found cells.
Cells?
When we were captured, we were kept in other rooms. I mean, I guess we didn't really explore the rooms that we were in, but there were rooms that people are being chained in and kept in.
Are there people that were captives?
I know, just us, but I do not think that anyone else is.
There was Rue.
There was Rue.
But he was
But
not
he's
they.
there a little bit more inside of the inside of the manor, if you will.
Yes. Rue seemed to be deep undercover.
Quick question before I was wondering if I wanted to know if there were any exploding pigeons that came in with those notes. Does Crumb have like feathers around his mouth? Is there like a blood smear on the ground, or is it clean?
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Is there the detritus of pigeons? Past exploded.
18.
18. Okay, so because you're in a bag, he telepathically communicated rather than a
Do we
pigeon.
remember, this is Jordan asking you, do we remember when Galileo was talking to Rue? Did he say, did Rue say that they had gone through the mirrors, but there was, like, the rooms didn't go anywhere? But they couldn't come through the mirror with us, correct? Like Galileo tried to pull them through and they couldn't come through.
Yeah, so it seems
Yeah.
like he can go through the mirrors in that specific room, but he ends up in a mirror looking at a different room, and he can't get through those.
Did Jazz end up, or Jazz? Did Sylvie end up going into the mirror, or was it just Galileo? Did we wreck on that?
I poked my head through to like see
Yeah,
that Rue
took
was
work.
So
they were busy
did
talking to someone, so I didn't get to like really say hi or anything.
did we just understand that it was just straight up like mirrors and nothing else?
Yeah.
Like I'm
I would have
imagining like
conveyed it to you.
it was a clear space, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever I saw,
So
I
he-
would have described to you at least. So you might not have seen it through my eyes, but you would have gotten
Right.
the description.
So then Greymore's question then would have been to the other group if they were started through the mirror, like was their scenario the same? Like did they see everything that we saw room wise, or were they in a big mirrored area? Like trying to understand what section they were in. Does that make sense?
Wait, it was not so much of a mirror maze as Galileo describes. I did get pulled into a mirror in the first room, mind you. So I don't know how long you guys were walking around with Phoebe, but in the first room, and Sylvie was on the other side of the mirror beckoning me in, and I said, no, that's too scary, and so I tried to break the mirror, and when I did that, Sylvie pulled me into the mirror, and then I wound up on the other end of the house. I do not know what happened to Runberg or Raj, but that is what happened to me.
Did you go through a mirror as well?
My child, I do not know. I was at a moment with you, and then I felt a strange pressure, and then I woke up in shackles.
D'accord. Well,
Sounds like a night with Rundar.
Hey.
That
I
wasn't bad. There's no way you need
He
to
was
censor
grabbing
that.
his wine.
Jeez, let a guy relax.
Guilty conscious over there.
Bad time to get a piece of gum.
What's that from, man?
That's a Community. That's when they're doing the shakedown behind the desk because Pierce stole a pen, or they thought Pierce stole a pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was Annie's boobs.
it was Troy trying to get it right, and he's like, "Bad time to
Yeah.
get a piece of gum."
Oh yeah. Everyone's like, oh!
Is this a pregnancy test?
So we now know what we are looking for thanks to Rue. We are looking for a flame in a. I keep thinking it's like in a glass. Like my brain says it's a lantern, but it's not quite right. Is it? But it is a flame in a.
Think
Yeah,
of like a
well-
classical cage that like you would put like a human in, literally. Flat bottom, kind of round top.
And then chains, either chains around it or chains connecting it to something.
Chains connecting it, and they kind of leave the room.
Wait, and there's a flame in it?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a heat source, energy source.
That is the energy source. Well, now that we know what we are looking for, I think that we don't have to. It seems like it should be pretty obvious once we see it. So maybe we can kind of just check in the rooms a little bit more quickly and kind of get through this a little bit faster. Because if Rundar is going to pick us up at first dawn, we don't really have that much time.
But the next question. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it is okay. Go ahead.
I was to say the next question though is we have 3 different realms. So how do we know which realm this energy source is? I think we need to go back to the mirror where we found Rue and try to get maybe more information. If it's a mirrored setting, or if it's in Phoebe's setting, or if it was in our setting.
I think that since this seems to be the safest realm, first we just check first. We know that it's not up here. We have to check the other top corridor, see how many rooms are there. We know it's not the one that you guys were in, with that seems to be prison cells, and there was nothing else there. So there's only 2 more corridors for us to check. So I think we check those first, and then see if it's not there. Perhaps we look into one of the other realms or mirrors or whatever that is.
I
Wait,
think
I
it
did
makes sense to
have
get-
a.
Sorry.
Go for it. It's fine.
No, I need to repair.
True. While you're doing that and resting, while Raj and Runeberg and I were over there, I found another mirror and I had an idea, and we broke the mirror and we held the 2 pieces up to each other, and within the infinite reflections, about 100 reflections away, there was a creature in chains, straining against its bonds in the mirror dimension. Not a flame in a cage, but we didn't see what it was, but it spoke to Raj and asked to be released, and I said we should put that away until we are around other people. Maybe not in my very nice new bag, but if we wanted to. Do you think that we couldn't go into the mirror, but we could see into it, so that's not going to get us anywhere, but I just want to throw that out there.
Phoebe and Raj and Roomberg, if you want to give me an insight check. I think you 3 were the only ones who were in that room during that. Give me an insight check.
Okay.
Oh,
18?
25.
Nice.
Yeah!
16.
Okay, 3 really good rolls. Okay, so what you come to gather is that this is something, because if you recall, the language that it spoke was ancient. It sounded like a much older version of Abyssal than you are familiar with. It would be like knowing Latin, or it would be like the Latin language and then having like Italian or Spanish coming from it. You can catch little notes of it, but it is like you can't fully understand the language. So you gather that whatever was talking to you is exceptionally old and ancient. And the chains give off like a big red flag for you. And the last thing that you recall from the history books is that the chained oblivion was literally chained. and you think that perhaps you found a way to communicate with that betrayer god specifically.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And
Mirror to mirror.
Please.
You figure if you were to accidentally or purposely do that again, there would be challenges in getting away from it.
Okay, then.
I do not think that we really need any other creature to know that we are here. Considering that we know that Rue is stuck inside the sword of Deegan. We're trying to be stealthy about this. I think that we probably should be as unseen as possible until we are out of this creepy, weird. So probably wouldn't do that again.
Right,
At least not
absolutely. I just wanted to throw that one out there.
And by the way, it is now forever canon that at any point in anyone's life in Exandria, if you put two mirrors together and get that infinite loop like we all have as kids, anyone can contact the Chained Oblivion doing that.
I don't know. That seems pretty dark and very accessible for a lot of children.
That's the only time I ever did it as a kid. It was like, so yes.
I mean, like,
And you stopped because
You were
reached
trying to
Iron
summon
Doom?
something?
we were also taught the Bloody Mary thing when we were kids.
Mhm.
So,
It's
Doesn't work. I try it every time I look in the mirror.
babe, if you bring that shit in here, we don't have enough salt, okay?
Have you
Yeah.
seen?
She knows. She knows. Don't do that.
There
Don't
was
do
like a
that.
TikTok of a guy walking up to a bartender and goes, "Yo, can I get a Bloody Mary?" And the bartender goes, "What?" And he goes, "Can I get Bloody Mary?" He's like, "What?" He goes, "Bloody Mary," and they go, "Ah!"
That's awesome.
Fuck. Congratulations. You're fucked.
I will say that at this point, Crumb kind of does a sit-up. Actually, he tries to sit up, and you guys watch his little legs like go into the air, and then he rolls over off the table, off to the side of the table, and he starts to sit up, and he pulls out a little pocket watch, and he goes, probably hour and a half till dawn. Hour and a half, if that works for you. And he goes back to laying on his back.
We have
Thank
to
you,
move
buddy. I appreciate it.
How long's the short rest?
Um,
Minimum 30 minutes.
an hour.
An hour is the minimum.
I feel like it's 45.
I'll give it to you in 45. So,
No!
We've been in here for at least 20.
don't forget that you have to go back, and it is a couple
And-
miles. You guys could run it, like that's not the problem, but you gotta pick up your pace.
What if our plan was to talk for an hour and then just to be like, that's a short rest, Manzioni, technically, and then you have to. How bad would it be?
I would allow it, as long as you got something to say.
Well, going back, we're going downriver, right? So we could float down the river. That would be my thought.
Oh. Okay.
Hop in some barrels.
You do
Like
recall
we're-
that there were like the little ice caps almost that you could maybe jump on
Right.
too.
Well, before we talk
Okay.
about going downriver, what are we gonna do here? Are we gonna find this no matter what, and then make our way home, or are we gonna go home without this? I think we gotta establish that before we.
No, we're here to. I'm sorry.
We do our best.
We came here to save Deegan, right? The one who
Okay.
threatened me.
So,
and
so
you?
no matter what, we're staying in here, even if it's past that hour and a half mark.
Wait, why do we only have 90 minutes?
That's when
we-
we're getting picked up.
That's when we
That's
get
when
picked up.
dawn is.
Who's picking us up?
Ruined
Darn.
Rundar.
90 minutes from this instant, including the short rest, or 90 minutes after the short rest?
No,
90 minutes total, meaning we have not short rested. We have 90 minutes. If we want to
I-
waste 45 of our 90
I
minutes.
would
short
say
rest-
that at this point, I'll give you guys that short rest and say that 90 minutes starts now after the short rest.
Very kind
Perfect.
God.
Very kind.
You are.
He has always been a
kindest.
kind god.
Sylvie, while we were
Yes.
sitting there with the short rest, would just kind of say, I personally would really like to try to save Deegan if we can. I think that I have to imagine that being in his position is probably very difficult. And
Right.
I imagine that what we've held and what he's done, he probably feels very scared and alone right now. And I think if we just leave him like that, that's really not fair to him and not really what I want to stand for. So I think if we have to stay a little bit longer, then perhaps we do. But that also being said, I know we don't have a lot of time, so I think that we should probably try to make a quick peek into each room and waste as little time searching as possible until we find the source and then focus on getting the source.
Absolutely. So shall we away? Very
Right.
quickly?
We must protect
So
the wall.
before we get up on out of the bag, I'm gonna like walk over to Crumb and just kind of like hold his fat little cheeks. Be like, okay, Crumb, if you get any more info from Rundar, any more communiques or the opportunity to speak to him, please tell him that we are going as fast as we can, and we apologize if we are over time, but please do not leave us here because it is
Do
very
you want me
scary.
to just tell him?
That would be great if you can.
What do you want me to tell him? Because I can just.
It's
right.
perfect.
It's right here.
Tell him we're going to go as fast as we can. We haven't found it yet.
Do you need more time?
Maybe like an extra. Maybe just when he comes to pick us up, give us like 15 extra minutes. Just be there
You just,
and then wait.
you just need
and
15
then-
minutes. You want me to tell him just wait 15 minutes? That's the
Can-
number we're
can-
going with?
Can Greymore
Just
see
don't
this
leave us
interaction?
here.
Yeah, you guys
My
are all in the
only
room
ask
together.
is please do not leave us. Absolutely.
Okay.
Ask him not to abandon us. That would be lovely.
Rundar, they said, please don't abandon them. They are scared, lost. They need your guidance more now than ever, Rundar. Oh, hold on.
That's reasonable. That's perfect.
Phoebe, what do you give us when we short rest? Do you give us a thing?
Wait, what? Oh my god. Yes. The tome.
And you can see Crumb starting to murmur off to the side. Forgot to mention they need a little more time. I'll get back to you.
While he's writing and receiving communiques, I think that Phoebe's just kind of going through like the different jars and like opening things and smelling things, and like one of them is like obviously very ripe and closing the top back on it, but like finding something that like would hold for a very long time. So like an old intentionally fermented cheese packed away in a little wooden box. It's like, so I made this very quickly, but it should. Oh, I found this and it's labeled "Eat for extras, extra snacks." So everyone that eats the cheese that I found in this box is going to get an extra D8 hit points.
Whenever we use our hit dice?
Yes.
Cool.
Would
Thank
that,
you.
Would
What
that
do
go to like temporary hit points if you're already maxed out?
It would not.
So how many? I missed the number. What'd you say?
A D8.
Just an extra D8.
For every roll you do?
Yeah.
Wait, is it
I
for
just
every roll
need-
or just once?
No,
Sorry.
at the end of a short rest, any creature who eats the food and spends one or more hit dice to regain hit points regains
Just
an
one.
extra 1d8 hit points.
Nice.
Well, you'll be happy to know I needed 1, and I rolled 1.
Good. The cheese is a little ripe. It's kind of stinky, but it's edible.
Extra sharp cheddar.
You can see
It's-
Crumb just drooling. Big, fat, cartoonish, like, drool just hanging from his side of his lip.
I will find you better cheese, my friend. I promise. Just
Slurps
maybe
it back
save
up.
this one for mommy's friends, and then I will get you something very nice when we return to the city. I promise.
So what's the group gonna do now? Raj?
Raj is gonna look at his little like bangle, and it does appear that it is out of its uses, and he'll try to like wave his hand over it. Can I use any sorcery points to regain any number of charges?
I will let you use. How many sorcery points do you have right now?
5.
5. And how many charges?
6.
I will let you match 1-to-1 ratio right now, so you can charge it up to 5
Baby.
and burn all your sorcery points.
All right, I'm gonna do 3.
Okay. Sorcery points are long rest, are they not?
Correct.
They are, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, you'll kind of like see like the bangle kind of like light up, and it like has like a feather. I don't know. I don't know why I think it's like a.
A sundial or something?
No, like almost like a screen on my wrist. It's not that high speed, but I'm gonna cast locate objects on the thing we're looking for. Do I know it well enough based off of what everyone has been saying and describing?
The description, yeah.
Okay.
If it works.
I'll allow it. Yeah, I think it's a cool way to use it. Okay, so, or a cool time to use it. So, roll me a d20.
Can I guidance him on this? Will it help at all or not?
You sure can if you want.
This
Okay.
would, so not my wild magic dice, right?
No, just
Okay.
say
Regular.
just a roll right now.
12.
12. And add that d4 to it.
Oh, sorry.
Baby guided you.
It's the
13.
cheese fumes.
13. Okay.
Perfect.
As you cast that, you sense that the casting worked, but you don't know where the object is. You can't locate it at this moment. If you want to give me a intelligence check, you can do that right now. Okay. You pick up. You see that it goes off. The spell should be casted. You realize that you're in a pocket dimension and not on the material plane, so to speak. So you figure if you get out of this bag, you could probably get the ping that you're looking for. And I also need you to just roll me a d6 for wild magic for casting that.
Oh, a D6. I don't have a special D6.
I think it's a d6. Hold on.
I think it's a D20, depending on how you do it.
Yeah, it was,
I think rules is written as like D20, and then if it's like a 5 or under or something like that, or
Oh no, you're right. D20 to start. You are correct.
take it out of its little box.
Hmm.
18.
Okay.
Please give me horns again.
Nothing happens right now.
Okay.
Cool.
Raj would cast it, and is it? I believe that if we get out of this cabin sack, that I might be able to locate the object. But it's a bit too blurry in here with the walls of the bag.
Perfect. Allons-y, shall we? Galileo, how do you feel? Are you okay?
I'm much better. I have more access to my algorithms than before. Thank you.
You are not whirring as loudly, so that is nice. D'accord. Okay, Crummy, we will be back. Please be good, and I'm going to take the note from him so we can leave.
Okay. As you all get out,
I do still have 2 levels of exhaustion, I admit.
thank you for being
I don't know
honest.
how to fix
Excuse me.
that.
There's no
someone's
sense in
went away on
hiding
a
it.
short rest, right?
Sorry?
Spins went away on a Grimoires went away on a short rest.
What's the deal on those successful stretches, DM?
It has to be a certain amount.
Yeah, you have to succeed by a certain amount. So there's still a penalty even if you don't succeed enough.
Right. So if I have levels of exhaustion on a short rest, I still have them.
Yes, unless I told you specifically that you get to get rid of them on a short rest. Some of them are short rests if you...
I think you called me a bad name too when you said you have exhaustion, so it checks out.
Okay, that sounds correct. Okay, as you all get out, you hear something that's swinging, and it kind of has like a squeak to it, like it...
Oh, Matthew.
And then it squeaks, and then you hear this kind of like motion back, and then it squeaks again, and it's out in the hall. And every so often it just squeaks.
Yikes.
Is it moving, or is it just like back and forth in like the same spot?
It's just the squeak that you hear. It's the squeak's in the same spot, but yeah.
Above table question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the door open or is it barricaded still?
I'd imagine you guys left it like
Barricaded?
the dresser or whatever in front of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
So we had to move it to let you guys in.
No, we shut it. That's what I thought.
think so.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I'll allow it.
Cool. Now we're under the table. Raj is gonna peek his head out of the little sack, kind of like almost like a present sticking out of Santa's bag during Christmas.
Snake.
Do I notice anything in the room?
Immediately upon checking the room, dresser's still in place. Nothing looks like it has moved much. And you guys have only been in there for 30-45 minutes, but nothing. But you hear that squeaking outside the door.
Okay. Raj would kind of like slowly climb out of the bag onto the floor and kind of like still like kind of like keeping down, like kind of like level with like I imagine the bed in the room. Just kind of like trying to get stealthy.
By the way, as you look under the bed, as you're kind of leveled with the bed and you look under, you do see this kind of this mask sitting under the bed.
If you touch it, I Lindsay. I Lindsay.
And you can only see the side of it. You can't see what the mask looks like.
I left it up to the dice. I got a 9. Anything higher, I was gonna wear it.
Oh, you do it that way.
Interesting. Can I get an Arcana check on it?
Sure.
Another 9. Hold on.
Let me ask, do you pick it up? Because it's currently slid under the bed, so you have to physically touch it and like pull it out.
14. No, I want to get a read on it first.
Okay.
Get some magic too.
Just looking at the side of it, 14.
I got a great Arcana.
14. Okay. As you look at it, without touching it, it's hard to tell if there's a magical component to it. You feel like you would have to, with that 14, physically grab it to get a better sense. Because currently it's still slid under the bed.
I want this so bad, but I don't know if the party wants this so bad.
What would Raj do?
Live your best life, Chris.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I feel like Raj would have grabbed it by now.
Chris would have grabbed it.
He's grabbing
grabbed it for sure.
He's grabbing blood stuff, like.
You were all about that book. That's true.
Mm.
Can the rest of us kind of like one by one come out of the bag? Hearing the squeaking, I would probably want to like slither down and see if I could see any movement or shadows on the other side of like the gap on the bottom of the door.
Okay.
How big was the dresser we put in front of the door?
I'll say like a 4-door or a 4-drawer dresser.
Okay.
It's kind of heavy, but if someone wanted to get through, they could probably get through. Give me a perception check. See if you can see through the crack.
Sure cannot. It's a 4.
A 4. The reason why it's so difficult is because the dresser lays flat to the ground, flush with the ground. So you would have to move the dresser to actually see what's underneath the door.
Can Greymore will then go ahead and see that someone's trying to check on it. It's like, come on, dummy! Like you obviously know that it goes to the ground, and then he's gonna go ahead and like kind of raise a side, like you're tilting it. So if there was like anything on top, he'd make sure it doesn't fall off. So he'd pick that off first, and then like kind of tilt it to make it to where there's a crack on the door.
I'll give you another perception check.
No fucking way. Natural 1.
Natural 1.
There's no lights. I'm blind. I see nothing.
To be fair, it is a dark hallway out there. There's dim light. You can't quite make out. And we'll say that the crack to the doors is ever so slight. Can't quite see.
Since I moved it and didn't make like assuming I didn't make any sounds with it, I would then like to, straight from friends, pivot it to where we can open the door away from the door handle so we can without making any noise.
Okay. So you guys now have the door accessible to you. Raj is still kind of like contemplating by the bed, but the rest of you, Raj, what are you thinking?
Does the mask look like the Raven Queen mask?
It does not. You would know that from your Arcana check, at least from the side, because you still haven't touched it. It's still under the bed, but you can kind of see what looks like a mask. It looks like it has more bumps and grooves to it. The Raven mask is very sleek and kind of no grooves, just a nice porcelain all the way through with the 2 eye slits.
Grab it, babe.
Would you guys like to open the door? Would you like to grab the mask? What would you guys like to do here? And by the way, I will say you do get the ping now. And the ping is...
In your house?
The ping is about 100 feet away from you.
Okay. Raj would hear the ping, and he's gonna move towards the door and say, he would whisper and say that he's kind of like picked up the track, essentially. He's like, I think I know where the object is.
I'll follow you, Raj.
Bloomberg, do you still have your pass without trace?
Oh, yeah, I think it's long rest. I'm 99% sure it's long rest. I'll check again real quick just to be safe.
Should only last for an hour.
Yeah, and I lost it when I went unconscious, so...
I couldn't remember when it was
I think it's
used.
a 1 hour badge puppy.
I just didn't know when he used it.
Oh.
If he doesn't have it, then I would like to open the door unless anyone I'll go to grab the handle, look at everyone, see if anyone is vehemently objecting.
Okay.
It's long rest.
As you open the door, swinging into the door now and out of the door, you see what looks like a mannequin with a long springy neck
Oh, come
that is just
on.
swinging its head into the door.
I fixed my eyes on it.
And you've got about a couple feet. It's a couple feet back, so you could kind of maybe shimmy past it if you wanted to, but you do see a mannequin staring at you.
And it's only its head is moving on the spring.
Mhm.
Okay.
Quick, close the door.
Yeah, Raj would jump back like he was scared or frightened by it.
I hate that.
You need it.
Fucking hate that.
Is it like
We all know how to handle this, but do we know how to handle this?
I know.
Can I get a wisdom saving throw from everyone in the room?
I was like, for the record, I have no fucking clue what we're doing, so...
Let's. Okay.
We want a whizzy savey throwy.
Okay.
12.
12. Okay.
Nat
17. No.
It's perfect that it's you.
Walks back uncontrollably, grabs
4.
the mask.
Okay, so luckily the DC, there was no DC. It was lowest is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And in this case, the person who was looking at the mask, as you turn and see the mannequin, you feel this urge. Like you start to turn your body just instinctively as soon as that mannequin comes in. And you start to think that mask could be the key to this. And you start to feel a pull there. You don't necessarily feel like you have to grab it at this moment. But if you fail another one, because now the wisdom save is just on you,
Okay.
then you will feel the urge to grab it. And nobody notices anything out of the ordinary. He just turns and kind of gives it that extra glance, but he doesn't go toward it.
Graymore would still like to tell Sylvie to close the door to give us that extra protection.
I'll close it.
You hear a slight thump now hitting the door every once in a while.
Did you want me to roll wisdom right now? I'm
Not
sorry.
yet. I'll
No,
call,
no,
I'll call that. I'll
Okay,
call
I
that in a
didn't think
second.
so. I just wanted
So
to make sure.
while you guys strategize this, I'm going to use the restroom, but think about how you want to escape both of these.
Okay, so
What about-
Matthew, basically, the mannequin in Lethal Company, you have to look at it or it will kill you. Someone has to be looking at it at all times.
But maybe
And
the
then-
mask.
But
And the mask
don't
in
think
Lethal
that's what-
Company, if you put it on for a certain amount of time, it absorbs you, and then you become like this evil creature that tries to kill your party.
What about using Iceberg? Do you think Iceberg could look at the mannequin?
But
You can try
which-
it, but I can't get more than 30 feet away from him.
But it's okay, you can still back up.
Which mannequin is this, though? Is this the one that kills you when you touch it? Or even if you're looking at it?
And you.
Can I roll a
What if I
perception
use
check?
Phantasmal Force on it?
Does anybody have Mage Hand?
No.
Oh, baby.
What if we just use Iceberg? And
I mean,
like,
I'm fine with that.
but then like he can just walk backwards and like come towards us and be like a barrier and keep an eye on.
I don't know if Nick's gonna count that, but
I don't either, but
Well, they take damage, though, don't they? Does an
Who
iceberg?
does?
Iceberg.
He's only got 1 HP, so if he gets hit, he's dead no matter what.
How does he appear to other people? Or
Well,
Creatures.
rules is written, he's a phantasmal force, but I have him being formed from whatever's around me, the earth around me, basically.
I think that would track then with whatever Mans allows.
yeah, I think if it's like the mannequin thinks it's a thing, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think we try that then, and hopefully
Okay.
we can get.
what if we put a mirror in front of the mannequin, and the mannequin just looks at itself?
It works.
That's
What I
was
want to
thinking
try.
of
That's what I'm
Phantasmal
gonna try.
and
That's
then
a
the
great
chained
idea.
oblivion possesses the
Wisdom
mannequin and then
saving
fucked.
throw, please.
Oh,
11.
Greymore's looking for a mirror.
There's a standing mirror in this room.
Can Greymore pick it up?
Greymore can pick it up.
He would like to walk to the mirror, grab the mirror, and move it to in front of the door, and then have Jazz open the door to where the mannequin's looking into the mirror.
Okay.
See, if we can try to trap it like Rundar or Brew. Sorry.
Okay. So nothing changes at this moment. Do you all look away, assuming that's what you're going for? How do you test this?
I mean,
think
I
we're-
guess we wouldn't know that we're staring at the mannequin that would stay there.
I think we just have to try to walk by it. So we're gonna have to move. Can we move the dresser a little bit further so that we can try to open the door?
I moved the dresser to where the doorknob was clear, not the hinge side, so the door wasn't going to stop with the dresser.
And you guys
Gotcha.
could sneak past it. You got about a couple feet.
But I want the mirror to be eye level, so I'm basically like holding it up like I'm a fanboy.
It's a tall mirror, tall standing mirror. You don't have to hold it. You can just place the mirror on the ground.
Okay.
Put it on the dresser or something.
I'm going to peer out in the hallway, creeping next to this mannequin, hoping it doesn't kill me as I stand here. If there's nothing else out there obvious, then I'm going to just kind of step out into the hallway, trying to be as quiet as I can.
Okay. You
And I'm
shimmy
on
past.
Sylvie's heels.
Okay. Sylvie and Phoebe shimmy past the mannequin.
D'accord. Come along.
I will follow.
I'd be
Galileo.
last because I'm doing the whole mirror skit thing.
Okay. Galileo, Roomberg, Raj, then
Do I
Greymoor.
do I
Raj.
follow?
Give me one more wisdom saving throw as you're about to leave. This is your contemplating. And it is 50-50. Your DC is 10.
Come on, buddy.
You specifically want Greymoor to be last.
4.
Yeah, Greymore's gonna be the last one to leave the room.
As you're about to leave,
Oh no.
literally as you're going out the door frame, something kind of starts to pull you back, and as you turn, you bump into Greymoor.
What are you doing, Raj? We're trying to get out of here.
I understand, but I think Phoebe forgot her sack of the cabin sack. I was gonna go retrieve it for her.
Deception versus insight.
Nat 20.
No!
Yeah, this is awesome.
So,
These rolls are always good when they need to be bad and bad when they need to be good.
Greymoor, you completely trust him. You back up. You still want to be the last person. You back up.
Yeah.
He goes. You see him start to grab something under, and then you're more focused right now on like the mannequin. That's the pressing situation. He just snags the mask, keeps it to his side, and you guys shimmy back through, and you can see that the mannequin, as you predicted, is just swaying back and forth looking in the mirror right now. The rest of you are kind of at the center balcony, if you will, with the staircase looking down. The ping that you're getting is actually still on the second story, but in the left hall, not the right hall.
Perfect.
Alright. Raj will communicate that to the group.
And no one's looking at the mannequin right now, right?
I assume that you guys would have tested it
Okay.
with a
I
quick
just wanted to make sure.
turn. The standing mirror trick is a good one. Works just fine for this.
Well done.
So,
Greymoor, that was a good call. Quick thinking with the mirror.
Raj, which way is the ping?
It's coming from the left side of the hallway.
Sylvia's just kind of, again, always looking for traps. Kind of scanning the hallway floor and heading to the left hallway. What have we got?
okay. As you go down the left hall, there are actually no doors in the left hall, except one at the very end. A little bit different than you guys previously did. As you walk a little bit closer, Raj, the ping is the door at the very end. Unmistakable.
It's coming from the door at the end of the hallway. I am sure of it. More sure than I've ever been sure of anything.
What were you gonna say if you wanted to do something?
Oh no, I wanted to know if it was like it's light in these hallways still, right?
You still have some candles on the side. Instead of doors, you have full standing mirrors embedded into the wall where a door would be.
Do the mirrors cross? Like, are they like parallel to each other on each side?
Yes, so if you look long enough, you would be able to see an infinite mirror.
We should be careful or be weary of the mirrors.
Rumor says if you look into it long enough, you can see the chained oblivion on there.
We've all heard that.
I spoke to it. It is not a friendly beast.
Greymoor, knowing that, would like take like a not a thumbtack, a nail, and scratch one side of the mirrors, like etch it, just so it marks it, so he doesn't get lost or anything, because he's terrified of the whole mirror situation.
But wouldn't all the mirrors in the reflection have a scratch too?
But not all would have a physical scratch on the glass itself, maybe.
So there's 4 mirrors, 2 that are parallel to each other, and then 2 separate ones that are further back before you get into the main room. So you want to scratch one of the mirrors?
I would if we're walking down the hallway, then I would do like the left side.
Okay.
You could scratch a different symbol into each one.
So my thought process, Greymore's thought process, was just scratch like a line going into the frame.
Got it.
In the
I was
frame, not the
thinking
mirror.
Oh, it would go.
thinking
It would like
windmill.
start in the mirror and then end in the frame. So like, he knows. He feels like he's educated enough on mirrors that shows reflections that he would need something else to kind of tell that the mirror was scratched, other than looking at a reflection.
Okay. As good one.
You
As
laughing at me?
yeah, we gotta ban that word. So, as you scratch that, you begin the back of your neck. The hairs on the back of your neck start to raise,
Ah!
almost like nails on the chalkboard. Is kind of the reaction that you get, and then you begin to hear little feet pattering across the ground. But you turn, and there's nothing there.
Yippee!
And only you hear the feet pattering.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I would, with hearing the feet pattern, Greymore would turn around and would have his battle axe drawn, like looking like a disgruntled dwarf does, and like trying to find something to swing his axe at because he does not like where he's at right now.
As you kind of take a half swing and look around, you hear now the feet pattering behind you, and you turn again, and behind you again, and behind you again, and you're starting to go a little bit insane with this noise.
Do we, because he's at the back of the group, would we hear him like...
You notice pretty quickly that he's acting erratic.
Gray man, what do you hear?
Do you not hear the feet pattering? Everybody, stop moving!
You still
I'll
hear
stop
it.
moving.
It's always behind you at this point.
And you just see like Greymore doing 180s.
What do you hear?
People walking.
Where?
Is it like 2 set of feet, 4 set of feet? Like,
Just sounds like a set of feet.
there's a set of feet somewhere, and then you just see Greymore start throwing, like swinging his axe at the air. Like, so like if I'm gonna be facing the party, he just does a swing behind them.
As you do
Whoa.
a swing all the way behind you, after a few moments the feet stop, and then you hear a little laugh and a giggle, and
Is it
only you
the-
hear it.
Is it the same demon laugh that would be the little girl?
It sounds like a little girl, but a little bit different.
Okay. It's fucking mind games.
You said there's candles in here. Are they pretty dimly lit?
Dimly lit.
Can I use thaumaturgy just to kind of like brighten the candles a little bit, just to like kind of make some shadows go away and see if that helps?
Sure. You clear the room of shadows, or the hallway. Sorry.
Is that better, Greymaw? Do you still hear?
No, I'm pretty sure I got it when I swung my axe behind me. But then it laughed, so I think it's still here actually. Never mind.
Perhaps you should come into the middle of the group, and Bloomberg, do you want to take up the rear? Just so you can kind of have some protection, just to be sure.
The only protection I need is my axe. But I appreciate it. He would walk up to the front, so he's still like this confident person, but doesn't want anybody to feel like he needs to be in the middle.
I just kind of want to walk down the hallway and just make sure, as long as there's no obvious traps along the way, check the door for traps, and then just going to take a listen at the door.
You hear what sounds like a fireplace, like the little crackles in a fireplace going off in this room.
The little what?
Like the cracking in a fireplace. You hear that kind of going off, and that's it.
Mark it.
Investigating. Give me an investigation check.
And then I think I have I'm going to grab out my little glasses, put them on. Natural 20 for 26.
Ayo!
Okay.
Hello!
You very quickly identify that this door has a trap to it. You start to pick, and you're able to disarm it, and you crack the door slightly open. This is the only room so far that has had a trap to it.
I knew we would find one at some point, and I'll kind of just like push it up and say, I'll just, Galileo, you're kind of in the middle of the group now because it's Grimoire is up front. Grimoire?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm just gonna go ahead and poke my head in, and if I don't know if Grimoire wants to Scooby do it, if we're gonna like Scooby do it, but I just want to poke my head in and see.
You know what? For the sake of this, all of you stick your head through up the entire door frame.
The door shuts and decapitates all of us.
TPK next campaign.
Okay.
I knew we were working on that for a reason.
So as you peek into this room, the room itself, the biggest room that you've seen so far, there are 3 window panes across the room from you. All 3 have windows open. There are no curtains in this room. You look across, and there are several desks actually in this room. There's a bookshelf. Everything seems to be scattered. Like it looks like someone furiously was like throwing papers from their desk. And as you look a little bit toward the right-hand side, you see that there's a staircase that leads to what you presume is like a balcony outside. And in the center of the room, you see this cage, and you see not just a lit flame. You see what
That's
appears to be a fire elemental
Don't say it.
in
Don't
the
say it.
shape of like a squirrel.
No! He said the words!
We have to free Deegan's heart from a cage. I love it. It's very,
It's beautiful.
all very emotionally. It's all very. I love it.
It's so beautiful.
Give me an insight check just for the characters above table right now.
Which character?
Gonna have
For you
words.
guys.
What happened?
Do you mean us as people?
Yeah, this is an insight check for you guys, not the characters, but use your
17.
character's insight.
14.
Just like a straight roll, or do you want us to use our
Oh.
insight
And
check?
use your insight.
Okay.
Well-
Build insight?
12.
Nat 1.
That one.
What's
24.
24.
Insight.
Okay.
Where is
Hang on.
insight?
12. Disadvantage.
Why
2
can't I
levels
find
resolve.
insight?
I get advantage on this?
Why would you get advantage on this?
Oh, there it is. Oh! 22. Oh, sorry, 21. 21.
Ooh.
Okay,
17 plus 4.
so essentially, you have not explored even half of this manor, and you have no idea if there's a subterranean portion of this. This manor could be much bigger than you have seen so far, but what you gather is that this manor is where Deegan kills things that will affect him in the future. So at some point, you know this because Rue died and was placed here. At some point, Deegan hunted down what was Skippy because he knew Skippy could potentially be a problem in the future for him. So he had to make the call. And at one point, Lissa had Skippy. And when Lissa passed, Skippy was going to go to the Sanctuary of Bahamut for resting. And he never made the trip. Similar to Galileo not making the trip as to where he was supposed to go. And there were many years in which nobody had a location on them. So, right now, Skippy is in the cage. You all creep in to the room. What would you like to do?
Can I examine Skippy
Sure. Give me a perception check.
to see if he, like, what he looks like as light relative to my light protocol of Protect the Light?
You haven't seen a brighter light than this, and not because he's a literal flame, but there's
Right? No. Yeah, I meant
yeah.
in the context of my understanding, not necessarily like
You
he's a
see
source
this bright
illuminating.
light, and he's got a big heart, if you will.
Sylvie, Phoebe, Raj, Captain. Rayman.
Hi.
I have found the light we must protect.
This is where my ping is leading us, but it is a strange light. Do you agree?
Raj, this is the light.
I trust you, Tak.
I've never been more certain. I can find no room for error in my calculations. This is the light.
You see it walking, like pacing in a circle in the cage, and there are chains that are being pulled from it, and it looks like the energy that Skippy provides is being drained and pulled into other parts of the banner.
Can I examine to see if there's any magical weak link in all of this to focus our attention on?
Sure, give me an Arcana check here.
Does it have to be an ability check? And can someone else do it if so?
I'll help out.
How else would you like to do this?
While you're like really kind of like looking into this, I will give you some guidance. So like I'm going to be looking at the other side of the cage from where you are.
Okay, so I would like to utilize Raj's help as well. To knowing that he is also a con artist, arcane purveyor, I would like to like lean next to him and be like, examine closely, and as he like kind of gets close to me, like you can see like Talk's eyes are like some of the lenses are damaged or like they're not turned on. So of all the 8 eyes that I have, there's maybe like 5 to 6, and then sometimes the 6th one comes on, sometimes it shuts off. So it's like kind of damaging my ability to determine what's happening, and like the lenses are like half shifting in and half shifting out, like a windshield wiper that's going halfways. I'll take the guidance as well, just to examine what the magic looks like.
Are there locks on these chains?
Not on the chains, but there does appear to be. Actually, you know what? There's in fact no lock even around Skippy. There's no way to open it that you can see. No like cage door.
Is there mirrors around the area?
There would be a standing mirror like you saw in previous rooms in this room.
It's like a dressing mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I would
with
turn that mirror around to face the wall.
so the straight roll, it would be disadvantage unless Raj helps me, in which case it's a straight roll.
I see why you wanted. Okay, forgot you're exhausted.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. So is a
Make it a straight roll here. If someone would help you.
okay. It'd be a 17 plus 7 plus 1, so
25. Holy smokes!
I got a good roll, plus I have good Arcana.
As you begin to investigate and see if this cage has a magical component to it, like how do you break a cage with no lock? There's nothing in the cage that looks magical, but as you look down and around the room, you see in the center of the room, right underneath the cage, you begin to see something ping. And you begin to see almost like if you're checking for thermal temperatures, like with some sort of
Infrared.
aid. Thank you. Infrared. You start to see something coming from the ground, and you watch as one hand made of pure shadow, blackness, and then red outlining it. One hand comes up, a second hand comes up, and almost like it's pulling itself up. The first thing that you notice are the eyes, because again, pitch black shadow, but the eyes are pure red, and its jaw, dragging from the floor itself, has teeth coming from it as well. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh!